Hey guys, this is Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and I am here with a deck review. Yay! So today I am reviewing the Council of Horses Oracle, and I was fortunate enough to have the publisher send me this deck for review. They were like, "Are you into horses? Would you mind doing a review with us?" And I'm like, whoa, do I love horses? Dude, I've loved horses since before I could walk. I grew up on a farm with my grandma and grandpa. I would stay there in the summers, and they used to have horses on either side of their property. And so I would ride bareback actually on the horses. I would, feed them like carrots and apples and things like that. So I have always had such a connection with horses. And I love that the area in which I live, we actually have wild horses in this area. We have some painted horses, we have quarter horses. There's a horse that lives on a corner property near me named Lady. And I've developed quite a connection with her. I love all her snuggles and cuddles. So getting back to this deck, I had the oracle called Way of the Horse, and that was actually also done by Kim McElroy, who did the art for that deck. And then the book was written by Linda Kohanov, who actually wrote the foreword on the guidebook for this deck. So, and then the other creator, the other artist for this deck is Sandra Wallin. So let's go ahead and dive into this because, wow. And you know what? You don't even have to have a horse to have a connection to horses. Everything is energy, and all we have to do is just tap into that energy. Okay, so the guidebook actually has a lot of good information in here. So, if you would like to take a gander, it's well worth it, I believe. Okay, so there's a little foreword. Again, that's by Linda Kohanov, who talks a little bit about, how she got into horses and why she believes that they're really good for, connecting to one's, divine energy, connecting to your own intuition, how we can utilize these animals here on earth to help us out with that, help us with our purpose, help us to understand, our intuitive messages and things like that. So definitely worth a read. And then there's a little bit of a talk about the Council of Horses, why they chose to create this horse deck, how they suggest that you might want to work with the deck, so on and so forth. So there's lots of questions in here, shuffling, things like that. There's a few spreads if you guys are interested. And then if we go back here, let's see, they did a few sample readings as well. Let me just get to, okay. So when we get to each card, it gives you a little message for humankind and a little message for horses, which I think is really nice. There's some keywords that go along with it, along with the name that's been given to that particular card and that particular horse's energy. It gives you the story of the energy of the art of that particular horse. And then also what message that horse would have for you. And then there's some questions for those of you that like to journal. You can take a look at that. And then there's a little invitation, something to maybe incorporate into your life, with the card that you have pulled. And so it kind of goes on just like that throughout the whole guidebook. And at the very back here, you can see with the horse there, we have Sandra Wallin. And then we have our artist there, Kim McElroy. So, and I think she does such a wonderful job. Okay, so like I said, the guidebook is fantastic, but let's go ahead and take a look at this deck. Okay, so the cards, let's go ahead and do a little size comparison with a regular tarot card here. And you notice it's slightly taller than your average tarot card and slightly wider. But I don't feel that these are cumbersome in any way. So if you have larger hands or smaller hands, I think you'll do okay. I will say that as far as the cardstock, we're probably looking at like 280, 290, maybe close to 300 GSM. It does have a nice glossy finish to it, nice protectant, just in case we spill little droplets of water on there. Also, you'll notice that with some of the cards, some of them are landscape and some of them are portrait. For some people, they don't like that. For me, you know what? I don't mind. It's however the art had to have been done. So you notice that there is just a little phrase underneath, like prayer mares. Life is a prayer. I am just such a fan of Kim McElroy's work. I feel that she really does tap into the energy of horse itself beyond their physical likeness. I feel she really taps into their soul, their collective consciousness, which ultimately is connected to the ultimate collective consciousness, all of us. I love that one, just like right there at the nose of the horse. Kind of how it looks when I'm giving Lady her kisses. And actually, back when I was like in 4th grade, my 4th grade teacher he was actually just clearing out his cabinet, but he had all these Equus magazines. And he was like, do you like horses? Do you want all these magazines? I was like, heck yeah. Much to my parents' chagrin, I brought home all of these magazines, and I kept them for a good long time. There must have been about 20 magazines. And I would just read them cover to cover over and over again until the pages were basically falling out. And it wasn't until I left for college that, I had given them away because my parents were moving out of their house. But yeah, I would read up on everything, from how to take care of them when, they had certain illnesses, how to, check their teeth for age, and, how to shoe a horse, how to clean their shoes, how to take care of their mane, like everything. I wanted to know everything about a horse. And I was like, one day I'll own a horse. But now that I'm older, I don't feel I want to own, an animal. I want to connect to the animals around here so that I love that I live where we have wild horses. Because I can, get out and connect to them. If they want to connect to me, it's great, but they're not locked in, my property. They're not, forced to do anything. They're just absolutely free. And actually, when I lived in the dorms in Long Beach, I used to have this poster of just like a herd of horses just running free. And I believe it was like a picture in New Mexico. And I took that poster with me when I became a teacher. I used to have it up in my classroom just to remind the students and myself that we're not confined by anything except what we choose to be confined by, that we are always free, that we are strong, we are intuitive, we're powerful beings, and that's what I believe horse teaches us, that we're always wild. Of course, there's a shadow and light to being wild, but to embrace all of that and to understand that. And then if we ever feel trapped, it's what would a horse do, because we are the horse. I love that one. Man, she just catches their essence so well. I even love these ethereal drawings that she does. Just so beautiful. And I'll make sure at the end to do a little reading for us, so you can see how I kind of read with this deck. Of course, everybody reads differently, but just want to give you a little example. Namaste, Reflections of the Divine. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a little shuffle. And let's pull a card, and I'll read to you what the guidebook says, but then I'll let you know what I'm getting from my intuition. So I just want to pull a card, something that we need to know at this time as a collective, what horse medicine has for us. Ooh. So we have Longma, leading with integrity. Okay, let's go ahead and find that in our guidebook. So this is Power for Good, Social Consciousness and Advocacy. Message for humankind, know yourself while honoring others. The message for horsekind, you have your herd's needs at heart, no matter what species they happen to be. Okay, so I want to read the message from Longma. In times past, I ceased to be seen when immoral and selfish men governed, appearing only during the reign of virtuous rulers. Today, I encourage you to learn from the integrity of these leaders who use their power to propagate fruitful and compassionate societies. Are you the kind of leader I will show up for? One who embodies the nature of the dragon, which emboldens and strengthens you as a sovereign being, as well as the nature of the horse, which empowers you to make positive changes that are good for all? Your power, like mine, doesn't need to be a show of force when it is used for good. If you think you are already using this power, look deeper, look further. There is more you can do. If you have yet to use your power in this way, it's time to access my gifts of heaven and earth to become an advocate for all and an ally to those in need, human, horse, or otherwise. And remember, the one in need might be you. All right. So, as I tap into the energy here, and what I find interesting in the image is that there are antlers, much like an elk or deer, on this horse, and the beautiful blue color being reminiscent of what I feel the throat chakra, and appearing to almost glide on water. So for me, I feel that this is really speaking in our truth, not just with our physical words, but with the words that we speak to ourselves. Because ultimately, everyone around us can connect to that energy. And if we are feeling one way about ourselves or thinking one way, but we're saying another thing, people can feel that, especially animals. So you might want to ask yourself if there are things that you're holding back. If you're not wanting to say a particular thing, or if there's something that you don't believe within yourself, this is a wonderful chance to do that shadow work, to look inwards. You know, why am I feeling this way? Why am I hesitant to speak out about this? Or why am I speaking this way to myself? So if you need to, I would say connect to the energy of Longma to help guide you in this shadow work, help guide you to where this belief came from, you know, where this particular maybe even trauma came from, where did it originate? And that way we can seek to learn the lesson, try to understand why it was there, how we can embrace it, and also how we can release it and show gratitude that it was there in the first place. And now we realize that it no longer serves us in our present moment, and we can transmute it. We have that power. Like I said, we are just as powerful as these beautiful beings, both in their physical and non-physical form. So, all right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Council of Horses Oracle. I will have a link down below in my description if you're interested in purchasing it. But otherwise, you know, I say just tap into the energy of the images that you see here. You know, I don't believe that we need everything in physicality. And so, yes, I think it's wonderful that we can work with decks and works of art like this, but we can also tap into the energy as well. No need for the physical item. So anyway, if you guys have an idea for some future reviews, I actually have a bunch of decks I haven't done reviews on. I know that I haven't quite done reviews in a while because I've been doing a lot of channeling on my channel, but I do want to get back to at least adding in some deck reviews, because I know that there are a lot of people who came to my channel in the first place back in the day when I used to do a lot of deck reviews. So I want to go back to making a few of those. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I will catch you later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Mwah! Peace out.